So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
The movie was absolutely wonderful.
I'm glad you liked it.
Made me laugh and smile the entire time. The concept of MMA fighting and a suffering music program would really never go together in my head until I saw Here Comes the Boom. Can you describe, when writing, how that kind of came together?
Yes, it was very odd. It was, in putting it together. I've been a fan of this sport because I realize what these guys go through and the sacrifice they put into it, and I've gotten to meet a lot of these fighters and realize they're not these barbarians that they kind of seem to be, but they're like family men who are fighting, and they're just regular people who are just fighting for different causes. Some to put food on the table for their kids and support their family, and for other reasons they're fighting for friends. Whatever it may be, they're just like us. And it's in putting these worlds together with the teaching in this, it seems so weird, but I realized the greatest love is the sacrifice of laying down one's life for one friend, and it's complete self-sacrifice. So that's why it had to be extreme, I felt like. And in this case, where this teacher who became complacent in his life and kind of lost his mojo is kind of just working now and starts to get inspired by helping others and doesn't realize it, but the ripple effect it has. And as it grows in him, he keeps growing, and he keeps building up more and more, and it gives him more strength. And basically what he does is does this crazy thing, but he's doing it for the sacrifice of a friend for these children. So that's why it was important.
Yeah, and the message definitely was clear throughout the entire film that there was so much work going into it. But what was the work like training to become the MMA fighter that you were in this movie?
That was pretty intense for me because we got the blessing of the UFC to use their organization, which they don't give out. So it was like, but their concern was, look, we know who you are, unfortunately, and we don't want to make it look like anybody like you could just walk off the street and fight. So I said, all right, I promise you I'm going to work hard at, and I put like 14 months of just training with all these professional fighters and trainers, and we wanted everything to really be legit so it would come off as real, and it needed to, throughout the movie, become more and more real as you go, and it gets a little intense at times, but you need that to show that sacrifice.
Absolutely. And speaking of sacrifice, I know that faith plays a role in success and in drive and getting things done. And when you were writing this movie, how did the role of your faith take place to add that in there?
My faith drives me as far as, more and more, I should say, during each film, I learn more and more, but my faith is the most important thing in my life. So it's like you need to incorporate that. You need to help that guide you. And I'll continue to make mistakes, but that's the benefit of you can learn and see that and still become better, and in doing so inspire others.
Yeah, and our viewers will be so inspired by this movie. It was so great, and I know that you spent a lot of the time filming in Boston. Catholic TV's in Boston.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so did you get to experience any of the local cuisine or hit up any?
We shot like 4 or 5 movies in Boston, so we've been eating there for years.
It's like a regular now.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we welcome you back anytime. It was so great to meet you.
So great to meet you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much.